good vibrations.
Hello, everybody. It's Hummingbird Jewel. This is SOUL-utions, a book review show for mind readers, our #4 show. Thank you for joining us. Today we have guest, author, speaker, composer, Grammy Award winner, on and on, Barry Goldstein with us. He has a book, The Secret Language of the Heart. But before I introduce you, I have to give a shout out to 1 Million Meditators, of course. We're broadcasting live on their Facebook page. This meditation is going to start on September 21st, this Saturday, on International Peace Day. We have our 2-year anniversary on the 28th. So Anita Morale decided we're going to do a week-long extravaganza starting on the 21st with our 15-minute podcast. We have ambassadors from all over the world. We're all volunteers. Our global intent is I love myself and the planet. So please join one of the broadcasts on the 21st. Then throughout the week, our ambassadors, a lot of us are conscious creators. We have businesses, and we're going to be doing interviews and shows and teachings and guided meditations. I'll have my regular book show on next Tuesday. Then on the 28th, our 2-year anniversary, we're trying to roll over 500,000, so we need your help. Can you please share? Join the movement. It's free. It's fun. You don't have to meditate if you don't want to. You can just listen to music and just think about, I love myself and the planet, or you can pray. You know, bring your kids along, your pets. It's just fun for everybody. Okay, enough of 1 Million Meditators. We have Barry here with us. And before I start getting into his book, The Secret Language of the Heart, I noticed on your beautiful website, www.barrygoldsteinmusic.com, you have a spiritual sound healing retreat in October from the 12th to the 19th of this year. Can you talk to us about that?
Well, sure. And thank you. Thanks for having me here. And I'm so glad to be part of what you guys are doing. And October 12th to the 19th, I'm going to be in Tuscany, Italy, doing a sound healing retreat with globalj.org, which is where you can find out more about it. Okay. But we are really going to be exploring the modern research of how music's being used as medicine. And we're going to be delving into learning the science behind it and then moving into really, really deep experiential processes that implement some of that science and really getting to know our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies in a more intimate way through sound. So not just listening to music, but creating a new awareness of how we can really fine-tune people's pathways to open up more utilizing music, sound, and vibration. And a lot of times, no matter where you are in your path, whether you're a beginner or on mastery level, you know, sometimes it's really just tweaking and fine-tuning, you know, our programs. So it's really about how you can implement music as a program and utilizing it for your next steps on your path. And I just know that people are going to be releasing a lot of old emotional baggage. So I'm telling everyone, pack your emotional baggage with you, bring it in your luggage, take it all with you, and expect to come home a lot lighter. Because really, that's the whole idea, is releasing those energies that are heavy, that are holding us back, and opening up the heart space so that we can expand whatever gift we are here to share on the planet. And that's how really the start of what we're going to be sharing in Tuscany.
Yeah, and it's a pretty small group too. How many people will be there? 300?
Well, no, actually maxing at 35 people.
Oh, so, 35. Wow, yes, that's very intimate.
It's going to be very intimate, and we're creating a very safe space, again, for people to delve in, for me to really be able to spend time with people and wanting to know why they're there and how I can help them expand utilizing music, sound, and vibration. And there's going to be a lot of downtime. There's going to be exploring in the Tuscany region. We're going to see Gregorian chanting. We're going to a classical opera concert. We're going to a chocolate festival. We're going to a CC. So I think that, you know, you need time to delve in and you need time to integrate and have fun. So
Yeah.
I hope we get some of our listeners with us, and by all means, go to globalj.org or my website to find out more about that.
I love the retreats, the spiritual retreats, because as a single woman, I went to Dr. Joe Dispenza's retreats by myself. So you can travel the world and feel safe and be around like-minded people and have spiritual fun and frolic.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that happens when we're in person together.
That's true.
So when all of us come together, to create space and hold space for each other, something really unique happens. And so it's not the same as doing it, online. I'm sorry, but it's just not.
So your book, okay, you had some supernatural stories. I like to call them supernatural. Maybe, I mean, I don't believe in coincidences. When you think about somebody like, oh, they won a Grammy, but you don't know that backstory, and I just get the goosies thinking about it. Can you tell your story about your dad and the guitar store?
Sure. So, yeah, many years before the Grammy, and even before who I knew Les Paul was, because that's who the Grammy was achieved with. I was coming up learning how to play guitar, and my dad said he would buy me an electric guitar. So we were middle class. We didn't have a lot of money to spend on a guitar. We had about $200 to spend, which I was convinced I was going to buy a Fender Stratocaster or a Telecaster, one of those two. And when the guitar guy saw that we were definitely buying a guitar, it was kind of like he had a fish on the hook, and so he decided to bring out one more guitar. I still remember the case coming out, and it was 1975 or 6, and he opened the case up. It was this hot pink plush velvet interior, a la the 70s, with a cherry sunburst Gibson Les Paul guitar. Who my favorite players, Jimmy Page, Carlos Santana, that was the guitar that they played. So my father saw my eyes light up, and he decided he was going to make it happen. But he made me make a promise to him that if he bought me this guitar, that I was going to stick with music. And so in that moment where, I was a 14-year-old kid, of course I was going to agree to anything to get that guitar. But in that moment, I believe that an intention was seeded, because that was him anchoring and grounding his belief in me enough to invest money that we really didn't have in my family. He took a French horn out of the trunk of the car that my sister wasn't using anymore. He put down 3 credit cards. He was scared senseless that my mother, who was like 4'5", was going to, not do nice things when she found out. But in that moment, when we bought me that guitar, as I said, a promise was seeded. And through the years of me coming up through the ranks and becoming a professional music producer, I went through some challenging times in trying to find that balance of how I can make money with it. And I would look at that guitar that was staring at me in the corner, and I would look at that name on the head of it. It said Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul guitar. And every time I thought about selling it, for rent money or, to get through it, I remembered that promise that I had made with my dad. And so I would never sold that guitar. And literally almost 30 years to the date later, when they bought me that guitar, the phone rang. And, long story short, we were kind of wooing Les Paul to create this album, but it went through. And my co-producer on their album said, "Would you like to do a track with Les Paul on this record?" Yeah. So it ended up that the track that I co-produced won Grammy for Best Rock Instrumental in 2005. And the chances, the synchronicities, but I believe the vibration was seeded, and that repetitive, anchoring of that every time I reclaimed that promise and did not sell that guitar. I believe that it created a vibration and that synchronicity, coupled with, of course, me acquiring the skills and passion and motivation and giftedness needed to move to that level. So there was a great expansion that happened, with that Grammy as well in my career. So I think it was all meant to be.
Yeah, and you speak to divine collaboration. I was doing a search because I have your book on Kindle and you can search words. I can't remember which word I was searching, but it was on page 111, and I went, okay,
There you go, right?
that's my number, or everybody's number, angelic. And it spoke to the divine collaboration. And by dreams, I understood that all songs could be divine collaboration, something like that. You quoted. Can you speak to that, by your dreams, how they helped you throughout your career?
Yeah, I mean, sure. That is really referencing a song that was gifted to me in a dream, because I was in the middle of creating an album called The Moment that was inspired really by Wayne Dyer. And I was looking for songs for that album. And in that dream, I heard the words, "Through the eyes of God, I have learned to see I am everything and everything is me. And through the breath of God, I have learned to breathe and I am everything and everything is me." And it came to me with a melody that felt like I had,
Oh, that's so awesome.
you know, before that, just many, many times. It was just like ingrained in me. And I was also given these visuals where I was a single blade of grass, yet I was experiencing everything around me at the same time. So I was a blade of grass, but I was feeling the breeze as the blade of grass, yet I was the breeze as well. And really, that's how this song came about. I really was given a lot of different verses in that dream, and I woke up and I wrote down what I remembered from that. And it starts off, "I woke up from a dream. I was a blade of grass. I felt a miracle in everything that passed me. I was a scent within the breeze. I was the blue within the sky. I was the cotton candy clouds. I was everything alive." So I was really able to just see how everything was interconnected, and not just see it, but I felt it. Like there was a knowing in me that this law of oneness that I heard so much about, through the metaphysical community, before. And it was almost like it was a buzzword, like we're all one. But when I experienced it and felt it, that there was nothing that I could do that would not affect something or somebody else on some level, and the other way around. So it really showed me how we were all interconnected, and how, the best song that I ever wrote was not really written by me, right? It was written with me, and it was a divine collaboration. And, I danced a lot with the title because of my upbringing, and also, being brought up in organized religion and not necessarily having a resonance to that. Having a song called "Through the Eyes of God," was just a lot, created a big trigger for me.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, and I went around in circles with it. I said, "Oh, through the eyes of love doesn't sound as good,"
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If it doesn't matter what I call it, it's about what I was connected to. So I knew it didn't matter if I called it "Through the Eyes of the Universe," "Through the Eyes of the Divine." It was about what the connection was, not the name of it. And it ended up being one of my most popular songs on my album, The Moment. So,
of course.
yeah.
And speaking of breath, you have this part, I'm going to go to, I think it's in the beginning of the book, and I didn't get to practice it because I was in an airport, but when I was reading your book, and it talks about divine breathing and the power of the sigh, I think it is. Can you either demonstrate it or talk to us about that technique?
Sure. Well, it's called the heart song breathing process.
Okay.
And it's a big process in my work, because I feel that what we're talking about is really utilizing music, sound, and vibration beyond art and entertainment.
Okay.
And really, in order to do that, it really means a new level of awareness for how we hear music and even what music is. So for me, it starts with what I call our inner symphony, the sounds within us. And when we can learn to connect with the sounds within us, our breath, our sighs, our heartbeat, right? We realize that we have our own unique vibration that nobody can take away from us.
Okay.
So that's what this process does, and we can do a couple of breaths.
Yes.
But and you let me know if we're coming close to running out on
No,
time.
we still got plenty of time, so let's just
Okay.
go for it. I really would love to do this. I was hoping you would show us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a 3-breath process. So
Okay.
the first breath is bringing the breath in through the bottom of our feet, and then
Okay.
bringing that breath up through our lower 3 chakras or
Okay.
energy centers, right? Our base chakra, our sacral chakra, our solar plexus. You're bringing it all the way up through your legs, and then you're releasing that energy through your heart. So that breath connects us with knowing that we're safe, that we're supported, that we're nurtured, that we're taken care of. And it connects us to the divine mother or the earth energy.
Oh, okay.
Right? The second breath comes through the top of our head. And that breath connects us within our upper 3 energy centers, our crown, our third eye, our throat, and then we bring it to our heart and release it. And that is all about connecting to the energy of the Father, right? Or releasing control, right? Not knowing all the answers, but knowing there's that unlimited field beyond us that is in collaboration and assistance with us. And then the third breath is breathing in through the heart and out through the heart.
Okay.
And so we're starting off with our hands on our heart, and we'll do it together.
Okay.
So we're going to bring that first breath in through the bottom of our feet and all the way up to the heart, and release it outward with a loud sigh. So I call the sigh one of our soul sounds. It's really our soul telling us that everything's going to be okay, that we're going to be all right. And then taking a breath in, bringing that breath in through the top of our head, bringing it through the third eye, the crown, the throat, and to the heart, and then releasing it. And then taking a breath in through our heart and a breath out through our heart. And just allow yourself, while your hands are on your heart, to connect with your own unique vibration. And I call this your heart code. This is your vibration, no matter what's going on in your life. No one can take this vibration away from you. Good. And let's just do the process one more time.
Okay.
Bringing that breath up through the bottom of our feet, releasing it through our heart. Bringing a breath in through the top of our head, bringing it all the way to our heart. And on this last breath, and this is just something we're going to do today with our listeners, is create an intention for yourself right now, something you'd like to see yourself move forward in. Maybe it's something you've been having on the back burner, but you're ready to move forward in. Something you want to share with the world. And breathe that intention into your heart. And send it out to the world with a powerful sigh out. Good.
Wow.
So, yeah, that is a short version of it. Obviously, you can do that for as many breaths as it takes to where you're really feeling your own unique vibration. And I created this because when I lived in New York, you know, as a type A New Yorker, I would get all centered and zenned out for my day.
Yeah.
And then I'd walk to my recording studio, which was 15 blocks away. And by the time I got there, hearing sirens and sounds and smells of New York and street people and all this stuff, by the time I got to my recording studio to create, I was already in a contracted state.
Right.
So I created this to reconnect. No matter what's going on in our day, we can come back home to our heart. And when you learn to listen to these internal sounds, you begin to find what resonates with you on a musical level deeper as well. You hear music in a different way because you're moving into a level of awareness where you're thinking on a very subtle, you're hearing on a very subtle level, not just with your ears, but with your four bodies, your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical bodies. So that, for me, is really the start of the work that I'm doing, is learn to listen to your internal orchestra, and then you can see what resonates with you, and know. And that really starts what I call the secret language of the heart, is the heart's always speaking to us, but are you listening? And in order to listen, you have to create a conversation. And this starts a conversation.
It's so beautiful and so easy and simple. I mean, you can duck out into the bathroom at work if you start to get stressed or feel the hormones of stress taking over, and then just calm yourself down very quickly, or on your way to work, maybe in the car. Well, you can't really shut your eyes, but maybe as you're parking, or or anytime you need to readjust. So I call it, I've coined syncing my frink. I call it syncing my frequency. So I do it every morning, and then every evening I use music. I start my morning with music, and sometimes I'm busy doing stuff, but I have it in the background. You don't always have to sit there like a guru, either. You can have what's called brain entrainment. Can you speak to brain entrainment? Because I can speak to it very little, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more. How do you brain entrain with music?
Yeah. Well, let me just say this, though. If it's going on in the background, it's more likely that you're heart entraining than brain entraining.
Oh, really?
And a lot, not 100%, but a lot of people that are using brain entrainment, it requires headphones. There are some technologies where you don't need headphones, but some of them do require that you're in between speakers in a certain way, because you're introducing different frequencies and targeting your brain to reach a certain state. So you're introducing 110 hertz in one ear and 118 hertz in the other. Okay, your brain adapts or can synchronize to the difference between them, which is 8 hertz. Right, so you can target a specific brainwave state, whether it's beta, alpha, theta, or delta, by entraining with that. But that technology of binaural beats, you do need to hear headphones with. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not all of them. There are monaural beats, which you don't need headphones for. There's isochronic beats, but a lot of them do require that you're in a certain speaker position, or that, for binaural beats, you're listening with headphones.
That makes sense.
Yeah, heart entrainment.
Heart will entrain. Oh, talk about that.
Well, a lot of my music utilizes heart entrainment. So basically, our hearts are our metronome within our physical body, right? It's what keeps time in our body, and our heart rate is a certain tempo, right? And at a relaxed state, most people's hearts are between 60 to 70 beats per minute.
Okay.
So, of course, music also carries a tempo, right? And people have used this for a long time. When you're working out, you want to listen to faster music, your heart rate's going to go up, right? When you're listening to slower music, we can target that relaxed state at 60 beats per minute. Your heart can begin to adapt, synchronize, or entrain to a specific tempo of music. And so as your heart slows down and moves to that 60 to 70 beats per minute, what's going on in your physical body is you're moving into a state called the parasympathetic state.
Okay.
And that's the state where your body is relaxed, you're at peace, but also your physical body is able to increase your immune system. It's able to better your digestive system, right? It's able to revitalize and detox you. And at that same time where that's going on, of course, the brain and heart are they're in conversation together. You can't be in that relaxed state in your heart and be in high beta in your head.
Right.
So new studies are showing us that as our hearts move to these more coherent states, right, where your heart is beating at these smooth, orderly rhythms, that your brain is moving into slowing down and producing more alpha brainwaves, right, in that process. So it's not a matter, I think, of either or. I think a lot of
Okay.
time in the sound healing community, we're divided. You know,
Really? Okay.
okay, well, I like using brainwave entrainment. I like using heart, entrainment. Oh, this frequency is the panacea for this, or this works with that. Right? And I think that we really need to, we really need to focus the questions, better questions on what do I need now, right? And going back to some wonderful teachings like of Edgar Cayce, who said that music is a bridge. And if you ask yourself that question every day, where am I now, right now, in my emotional state? Am I depressed? Do I have anxiety? Am I up, but I want to be more inspired? Right? Where am I now? Where do I want to go? What's the other side of that?
Okay.
Right? What's my target state? If I am depressed, I want to be more joyful.
Right.
Or if I'm more tense and I want to be more relaxed, right? And then what piece of music will take me there? And as we create more awareness of what we love to listen to, right, and what feels good in our body, and that's like where that heart song breathing process comes in, because when you listen to a piece of music and now you love it or you don't love it, you're going to incorporate it into a program. And it's just like nutrition. Someone might recommend that you go on a broccoli diet,
Right.
but if you're allergic to broccoli, right,
It's not going to work.
it's not going to work, or your body's telling you, no, I don't feel good with broccoli. I feel really heavy and gassy, or whatever it is.
Right.
So it's really taking on the awareness of music being nourishment for you. And when you're giving it to yourself, you're feeding yourself music, you can create an amazing program where you'll really see transformation in your life. And that's really what The Secret Language of the Heart, the book, does. And that's what my intention was, is for people to just have these unbelievable tools that they can use to create their own program.
I know.
Not just me telling you what to do.
And it wasn't just your music. You can have a lot of different playlists for different diseases, and you incorporated a lot of other people's music, which I thought was really sweet. I like to do that too. I always feel like, bring on everybody else too. They have great things to contribute. And if we are speaking of, we're all snowflakes, individual, not everybody's going to, resonate to the same vibrations or frequencies, I would suppose.
That's right.
So you were exactly just recently at a sound healing summit, and I don't know if I should bring this up because I'm not a conspiracy person. I don't believe in, focusing on that. Did anybody speak about changing 440 hertz? I mean, they changed it. Why can't we change it back to something more resonant? Is that even on the board, or is that even possible?
I mean, I'm going to say this. That's probably another hour-long interview that I could get into.
I know.
Because really, all I will say is, that there's a lot of urban legends and myths around a lot of things in the sound healing community. And again, you really have to see what resonates with you.
Okay.
When we're talking about changing frequencies, right, we're not talking about a note. Okay, right. We're talking about a tuning. Exactly. And that tuning on a keyboard is 88 different notes. There are a lot of different combination of things that can happen within those 88 notes. And that's kind of where I'll leave it, because so many things and so many people have had amazing healing experiences in the music that we've listened to our whole lives. It's not just about the frequency, it's all part of a recipe. It's part of the intention that's put into the music by the composer. It's part of how they use melodies and harmonies together. It's about the emotion that it brings with you. And, it's about dissonance, and it's about harmony, within it. So we can't just blanket statements and assume that one is better than another.
Okay.
We're oversimplifying it. When we do that, and it's much more complex than that. And that's where what my message is okay, well, learn on your own, or I can show you some tools to utilize to see what feels good to you, because you're always going to hear these things. And there's always going to be people who say, well, I listen to 432, or I listen to 444, or I listen to 440. but there's millions of songs within each one of those. How can we say that one tuning is better than the other? So what it really entails is you have to form your own awareness and own discretion, right, to see what resonates with you in every song you listen to, regardless of the tuning. You have to get that subtle and detailed to say, this is going to create expansion for me because I love the way it sounds. And then, look at it and say, oh, wow, this is at 432. And if all of them kind of start to kind of, compartmentalize themselves into that area, you might say, wow, this is something I resonate with. But that could be on a daily basis. The next day, it could completely change. So the only thing that's going to be consistent for you is connecting with your heart, right? What we did, that breathing process.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And listen to the music and ask yourself, when I listen to this, do I feel like I'm in a contracted state where my body closes down, right? Or do I feel like I'm in an expansive state where I am open up, I'm on the top of a mountain, I'm feeling the energy of the universe? And that's really, then you become your own sound healer. You don't care about the conspiracy theories or
I love that.
That's really what I want to tell people. That's my big message. Yes.
Thank you. That really changed my whole thinking about it, and off it goes. And now I can just get into the belief, because I've experienced you for years through Dr. Joe Dispenza's workshops and music. So you put me to sleep many times.
I know.
Your music puts me to sleep. Oh, that's nice. I mean, that's a compliment, though. It's a compliment.
It is a compliment. I always say, like 20 years ago, that would have, as a rock musician, if you would have told me that I was putting people to sleep every night, that I'm really popular, like in the metal mucil aisle and the sleep aid. But
hey, I'm almost 61. I'm in that category.
I'm in that area myself, so it's all good. Sleep matters, right? So.
Yeah, it does. But thank you for your healing music. For me personally, it's wonderful to be able to say thank you, because I have self-healed through music and meditation, the combination. So, gosh, we're already done. I can't believe
my
this went by
God.
so fast. Thank you so much for supporting 1 Million Meditators and the show, and the contribution you've given is just, I've learned a lot on the show, and I really loved your book. You've got to get the book, people. He has a whole recipes for healing, song healing recipes. There's so much more to his book that we didn't even touch upon. It's an easy read. It's beautiful. Thank you, Barry, for coming on the show.
And I want to thank, before we exit, I just want to thank Dr. Joe as well.
Yes.
Because he actually inspired and lit the flame a little bit underneath me to write the book. And he wrote the foreword for the book as well.
I saw that.
Just very thankful for our collaborations and this amazing community that we're speaking to today as well. And I want to do anything I can to support Million Meditators, and I know that what you guys are doing is very important. So,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and tune in next Tuesday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.